Hi everybody. Today's video is about Willie's guitars. Now, there's a lot of guitars that we have that are kind of oddball stuff, and by oddball I mean they sound authentic. Keep in mind the master volume on amplifiers didn't come about till the mid-70s. It wasn't until like 74, 75 that anybody was able to add distortion. So, for this video I'm going to run through a regular Princeton reverb amplifier, and I'm going to use this as a basis. This is a 1980 78 Les Paul Standard, kind of a rare color. So just using this, that is a humbucking pickup, big and bold, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, for those of you that saw the Elvis movie recently, they mentioned Arthur Crudup, which he wrote That's All Right Mama and My Baby Left Me. And those are two early Elvis hits, and that made Arthur Crudup famous, but not wealthy. But if you look up Arthur Big Boy Crudup, a famous bluesman who had to work as a day laborer most of the time because the record companies kept ripping him off, Elvis did him a favor by doing Crudup's song, was his first hit. His Wikipedia page shows this guitar, which is a K-made Sherwood. And it has this little pickup that looks like it's some made-up thing, but it's not. And so, having heard that, I actually have to turn up the amp to be heard. All of these guitars I'm going to show you have a lower output, more authentic sound. I remember having a discussion with an old guy in an old folks home who played guitar, and he said the secret to that authentic sound is putting bronze wound strings, non-magnetic strings, on these old guitars to get that bluesy sound. And there's something about the sound of these pickups that kind of fits in the pocket. If you're looking to play a solo on something, try a new ingredient. Have you ever watched any of those cooking shows? You remember 10 years ago when nobody had ever heard of avocado on toast? It was kind of a new thing, but it works somehow. And for a lot of these old guitars, this new ingredient, this new tone, works somehow. This is an airline guitar. This, by the way, is about $1,000 these days with its big Brazilian rosewood board and its retro styling. That is so Flintstones, so Jetsons looking. It's just a cool shape, a maple body with this rocket shape, probably 50s, but now you pick up one of these guitars at a gig sometime and you're going to find that people are going to be like, what is that? These guitars that have these unique pickups are lower output. They were meant to be more of a microphone than a high output guitar. The Les Paul came around and was super powerful, and you can hear it on the Les Paul, but these guitars like the Airline, my Rickenbacker, my K-made guitar, those are guitars that you might want to add to your repertoire because it's something different. And again, you look at some of the cooking shows, at some of these new flavors they're using that adds to so much to a recipe mix that it's really kind of cool. Now this is a Rickenbacker made Electro, and it's still a Rickenbacker instrument made for other dealers. It's a cool sound. Turning these down a little bit too. Now this is the sound of countless Beatles records, but guys will try to do Beatles songs on their Strats, Stellys, Les Pauls, and something's missing from it. you just don't capture that sound where everything is back in the pocket, yet you can hear everything inside that. The song becomes truer. A solo on one of these guitars becomes different. A totally different sound by getting into something like this. This Rickenbacker Electro, I think, is a really cool way to get into a vintage anything. People are jumping on guitars that have already skyrocketed in value, but they forget about the guitars that are bargains today. Now, before I close up this little diatribe of mine, I'm going to play this Les Paul again. Now, this is, again, a 1978 Les Paul with these newfangled hum-bucking pickups. Who needs to buck the hum? And listen, I mean, it's really... One more time. That has personality. Not that the Les Paul doesn't, and if you like to play bluesy leads, you want a Les Paul. But if you're playing in a band and you're doing solos occasionally and you want to stand out, I might suggest some of these kind of oddball things that we have hanging around. And cool? I'm going to do the other one just for fun so we can kind of hear them. This Airline with its humbucking looking pickup, which is actually a single coil, also has that thing I'm going to say. When you're dealing with old guitars and you're tuning, always tune up. Never tune down, because those old gears tend to let go on the way down, and they only work when you tighten them up. So if you're playing an old crusty guitar, go down below the note and tune it up, tighten it up. Don't loosen it up, because there's always, as you loosen it up, a little bit extra. So that's the way to play it. All right?